So I want you to tell everybody, because I was just about to hit record before you started talking, but I thought this is comedy gold, so I had to interrupt you and stop you. John, tell the world how you know your house is getting close to done. It's not by the finishing touches they put on the house. It's by what?
The porta potty's almost full. Yeah, you do not. You have to go so badly that your only other choice is in your clothing. That's really the only way you're going to use the porta potty.
Obviously not for some people, because people are still using it if the shitter's full. And that was the whole thing, because John was telling me about how the bathrooms are almost all in, and I said, is the shitter full? And he's like, no, but
the one out front is.
The one out front is.
We laughed about that. Hey, we got a bathroom in already. Of course, it was the porta potty, and that was almost a year ago. So
that's a years full of
darn
excrement.
Apparently those companies never come back and trade them out. I don't know if there's some sort of a rule.
I thought they went and pumped them, because I know the farm up here, they don't replace them, but there's a couple of porta potties out here because it's a show farm, so people go up and on the weekends and show. Sure. Talking about horses, not cows, guys. Yeah. But they just come in and a truck comes in and just pumps them out. Man,
they need that truck.
Yeah,
in a big way.
It's up here, so
but Lisa said there was a guy they're working on utility lines out in front of the house, and she said there's a dude that was in there for like an hour.
Really?
And that seems like some sort of an overcoming of, really.
There's another issue there.
He was out for half an hour. Jeez.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I have never been so good at holding my breath as when I have on occasion had to use that stupid porta potty.
Oh, that's
now I wear Depends
right there. Yeah. No. Who knew we were going to start another episode all about
every one of our listeners,
about crap, the crappy episode. Another crappy
one
episode,
of our
guys.
Listeners knew that we were going to.
Oh yeah, they weren't
surprised at all.
No. Not surprised at all. Nope.
Not a bit.
So,
John, we've had lots of stuff going on, haven't we?
We have. Well, yeah. That was not enjoyable. Not enjoyable.
Again,
but
no, it's not the first time.
It's not the first time.
No.
This is for Clyde. It's the third time.
I can't believe it was Clyde again.
Yeah, it was both of them this time.
Was it really?
Yeah, both of them got hit this time.
Well,
so Bonnie's
let's
first time. Yeah,
let's dive into it,
guys. This was nasty. It's better this time. I don't think he got hit nearly as bad, but we also tried to do the natural stuff to the last couple of times to get off, and it just took a while and I'll tell everyone what's going on here in a second. Don't worry, folks. I'm just leading up to it because I'm trying to fill time.
Worried.
I know.
We're trying to fill time. That's all we do.
It's all we do.
You don't have to
we
say
just talk and talk and talk.
Yeah. It sounds like
anyway,
filling time. They are.
We tried to do the natural, we tried the it's supposed to be hydrogen peroxide and dish soap and baking soda all mixed together. Then you wash the dogs with it, and that's supposed to get rid of it. And it doesn't do bad. I mean, it does neutralize it somewhat. But Clyde, for the last time he got hit, it was almost 3 months before that smell went. Oh. So this time I went ahead. We did that, but I went ahead and bought some other shampoo and then also Skunkoff, and that's giving it away, folks. Yes, my dogs got hit by a skunk, and Clyde got it for the third time. You'd think he'd learn. I would personally learn after the first time. Second time, definitely would know not to chase the furry little black and white cat in the backyard.
Yeah, but you still eat the treats, so don't pretend like
their treats are CBD treats. When you run out, what else are you gonna do?
Really calm you right down.
Calm me right down. I didn't take one before this episode. Anyway, so yeah, Clyde got hit for the third time. Bonnie, was her maiden voyage, and I got some Skunkoff. Now the interesting thing is the logo looked familiar to me when I ordered it, because I ordered it from Amazon, and I just wondered, because I had a German Shepherd a long time ago that got hit, and soon as I opened the package, before I even cracked the top, I smelled the chemical coming up, and I'm like, yep, it's not a bad smell, but you know it. I mean, it's a distinct smell.
Well, it's what you remember, and you know
exactly
what it's for.
Exactly. And when I was smelling it and I was telling Jen about it, I was telling her that story and getting ready to put it on the dogs. I was like, I don't remember my German Shepherd smelling for very long after we used this stuff. And sure enough, I put it on the dogs, and Clyde still has a little bit, but nowhere near what it was before. So I think I'll do it one more time today, and then hopefully they won't smell anymore. Wow. So I highly recommend, folks. I know the natural stuff is the way that most people want to go. It's easy to do, but if you really want to get rid of that smell fast, Skunkoff.
I think a lot of people tune in to our podcast to find out, what should I do if my dog gets sprayed?
Yep, I think so.
A skunk. And so I think
the podcast smells so bad. It just really stinks.
It doesn't, not just to us, not to our listeners.
I'm not saying us. I'm just saying the podcast.
Oh,
it's a stinky pile of porta potty.
SPOP. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad the smell was going away, because that's always the worst thing. And as I said last time when Clyde got sprayed, you wonder, you think it dissipates, but then as soon as you go out and see somebody that you haven't seen for, hey, you sort of smell like skunk. Come on, it's been a week. I've taken 50 showers, and I bathed in tomato juice.
Exactly. Well, you get nose blind to it pretty quickly.
I think, well said, nose blind. Yes.
And so whenever I washed the dogs for the 2 days when Peyton came home from school, I'd always say, okay, before you're not nose blind anymore, smell the dogs. And she's the one who's been kind of keeping me up to date on who smells like what. But even Bonnie slept with Peyton, because Bonnie normally sleeps with Peyton. Mm-hmm. But of course, the night after that happened, there was no dog in the bed, anything. Dog slept in kennel.
Oh my gosh.
But Bonnie slept with Peyton last night.
It's fun. So strong, though. When they get it good, it's so strong. And we have had, our first one that got it was our golden retriever, and the long hair. Yeah. And it just gets in there. Yep. And there's nothing you can do.
Nothing you can do.
Just keep digging in, and my goodness.
It's nasty. So I did do some more research, because I'm a pro at this. Yes, you're actually not supposed to, don't use water right away, but you're also not supposed to actually wash them or clean them right away. You have to wait 30 minutes to let anything settle that needs to settle. Then in the next hour, 30 minutes to an hour, you're supposed to wash them, but you have to get like the Skunkoff, like I have, you have to put that on first, because that's, or if you do the natural method, the soap and stuff, you do that first, because that gets rid of the oil, because all that spray is just an oil, and that oil won't come off. It won't break down with just water, and water itself will just make it worse. Wow. So that was the interesting thing.
Well, and before that, I think before any of that, Skunkoff type stuff, it was tomato juice. That's what we were supposed to use. And so I think we did that the first time, but
that doesn't,
it doesn't. No, nothing like what this other stuff does.
Yeah.
So anyway, well, Lisa told me, because you had posted something on Instagram. Yeah. And Lisa said, the dogs got sprayed. I said, come on, not again. That must be an old post.
No. Yeah, this time it was me washing. It was a picture of me washing Clyde. Which I told Jen, I don't like the picture you posted. You should have asked me first, because it looks like I'm dumping water on top of Clyde's head. I didn't do that.
No, that wasn't it.
Yeah. The nice thing was, this was in the back of the yard. So the first time not the first time, but the second time Clyde got it, which was the first time he got it majorly. The first time wasn't horrible. He was far enough away where you could get rid of it pretty quickly. But the second time, the skunk was right next to the house, and not only sprayed Clyde, he also sprayed the house and the grill and the porch.
Oh, the grill.
Yeah.
What did you put on these ribs? They're delicious.
Well, luckily my grill had died at that point already. So I just haven't thrown it out, but it doesn't work anymore. So we don't use it. Which, I was pretty impressed. This grill is over 25 years old, and it just now really died. Good. And it has moved. Gas grill. It's a gas grill, and it's moved several times. It's moved from Minnesota to Tennessee, and then has moved 4 times while we've been in Tennessee. So,
well, Minnesota, I mean,
to move,
you probably had it rust proofed up there. So,
maybe, I don't know.
That's what everybody does. Yeah.
Yeah. But,
little Z bar.
It was, well, that's part of the problem. It rusted through and everything was falling off of it. I'm like, I'm not even going to try it.
25 years?
25. It's still
amazing.
It still functions. Like the gas part, I can still get it to burn, but everything else is just so old. It literally is just falling apart. It's like,
have you had to replace like what are they called? Fallopian tubes? No, they're not.
Yeah, exactly. No, I haven't replaced one thing on it. It's all original.
Wow. We have been, I think we have gone through 5. We would switch back and forth between charcoal and gas. And not necessarily. I miss charcoal when we have gas, and when we have charcoal, I miss gas. And so now I think our turn this time is for a gas grill.
Or just do both. That's what I love about my pizza maker. My Solo Stove Pie is you can choose whether to use gas or wood. You just pull out the gas thing, and it's got a little. Yeah, it is really.
There's such a wide variation of prices, though. Oh my gosh! I mean, everywhere from that green egg thing. Have you seen that?
Oh yeah, My Ace Hardware is full of them.
$2-3 grand. Whoa! I'm sure they're awesome ceramic.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure they're great, but $3 grand. I'm not that good a chef.
No.
I mean, our oven costs half that.
Well, that's the thing. If I were to use it every single day, or even if I only used it once a week, but I used it every single week, I might consider investing in something like that. But as little as I actually use it,
and it's not like you're cooking for 10 or 5 even. Same with, I mean, it was 2 of us. So unless I have company, which is fine, but then you still don't need a massive grill or anything.
Yeah. Now, I will say that I have been intrigued by the Traegers, pellet grills. Yeah. That one definitely was like, maybe, but no. Now the pizza oven is a good example. That wasn't cheap. It's not the most expensive one on the market, but it definitely wasn't cheap. But we use it every single week. We use it for pizza. I'm going to start learning how to use it for bread making. So it's not like it's not used.
That would be awesome bread, I would think, with a pizza oven.
I think I'm excited to try it.
Yeah, no doubt.
I'm waiting for my pizza peel to come though.
Your who?
My pizza peel, the thing to get it out.
Oh, like the scraper
like
thing?
the massive spatula. Yeah.
Stainless?
Yes, I have I have a wooden one now.
Okay.
That one is actually too big, so I can't. That's what I use to put it in the oven, and then use the metal one to get it out. And then I've got a stainless steel turner, which is basically that, but much smaller. So you can get in there and turn the pizza.
Okay.
Yeah.
Spin it around. Yeah.
Right. So that's what I've been using to get it in and out right now. But it's a little hairy when it gets to the edge, because you're like, I was going to say, here we go, quick.
I would be a little freaked out by that.
Yeah.
But if you've got a nice stainless flat surface, that boom underneath it, and off you go.
Yep.
But every week you're using it once a week?
We always do pizza once a week. That's just kind of our thing. That's our Sunday ritual. So we use it.
Are you doing some interesting combos? Like, have you done? I've seen some with like pears and arugula.
We haven't gone that far yet. I mean, we have in the past. I don't, but not with this oven. We did this past weekend. We did a mac and cheese. Which the mac and cheese was a little bit different. It wasn't true macaroni and cheese. What I did was I had some of those egg noodles that you can get in a massive bag, which we had cooked the night before for dinner. I took those, and then I took the Mexican cheese out of the can, the queso, the yellow queso, and I poured that in there, mixed it all up, and then put that on the pizza.
How bad could that be?
Really freaking good. And then we did a barbecue pork pizza. And there was what was the third one? The third one was, it was a pesto based pizza.
Say no more.
Yeah. And then the last one, I didn't do any sauce. I just did, garlic butter and mozzarella cheese. So it was basically a garlic bread. It was
the only thing I would do to the mac and cheese is add in some lobster.
Yeah. We didn't have any lobster.
That'd be awesome.
That would be really
get
good.
some. Come on.
We would be really good. No,
that would be awesome. awesome.
Next time.
Crusty.
No, this week, we were planning the pizza. Nothing too fancy, but I did get some banana peppers, some black olives, some green olives, blue cheese stuffed green olives, and
Are you pretty consistent on the crust you use?
So yes and no. I ran out of bread flour, so I've been using all-purpose. Now, the interesting thing, last weekend was the first time I'd done the all-purpose flour in the oven. The bread flour cooks up a lot nicer and a lot crisper, but it doesn't rise as much.
Mm-hmm.
The all-purpose flour actually, it was hard for me to believe, and I'm going to try it again this weekend and see if I was just a fluke. But the all-purpose flour actually made for a better crust.
Interesting.
Yeah, and the bread flour should be the better one.
Should it though?
It should. But I think what I might have done differently is I used the same measurements for everything. So the all-purpose flour actually came out wetter than the bread flour because the bread flour is going to absorb more.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's maybe why it actually came out better, is maybe I need to use more water when I do bread flour.
Cool.
Who knows? I'm not a chef. I'm just experimenting.
It's fun to mess with it, though.
It is.
That's the cool part.
Yep. Yeah.
And I think it's smart that you have like a pizza night. I mean, you have it one night a week that you plan it.
Yeah, every Sunday is usually our pizza night. Yeah.
That's very cool. Awesome.
Yeah, it's fun. But so you've been a little under the weather there, Mr. Man.
For heaven's sakes. And it's just hanging on. I mean,
it's kind of like me.
Back when I used to do stand-up training, we'd have a room of, anywhere from 30 to 100 people. And you get done, or if you spend a week with people, you're, high-fiving and shaking, and you're just interacting all the time.
Right.
And even if it's just a day, when people go, you always say goodbye and handshakes, and before COVID and all of that. And so that stuff, I would constantly have colds. And it was just kind of an ongoing, I got a training class. I'm going to have a cold for a few days. And it was fine. So it lasted a week and then I'm done. And it was okay. But what's been going around lately, and I've heard this from multiple people, is just this hardcore stuff so I've got acute bronchitis, and it's just not going away.
It's not very cute.
Oh, it's not cute at all. And it's trying to cough, and oh my gosh, shortness of breath. And it's, my goodness, it just does not want to let go. So anyway, I'm suffering, and it's been almost 3 weeks probably or so. And happily, I'm not doing any training. I know
stuff. Lisa wasn't doing that great. How's she feeling?
She still has kind of a, nagging cough, but hers has not gone into anything else. And hers is 2 months old.
Yeah.
Easy. So I don't even know what.
Jen had something similar, so I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
and she's still got a little bit of a, but not, she doesn't feel bad, and it's not keeping her up at night anymore. So
and that's half the deal is can you go to sleep? And that's what I've been having trouble with. Some nights, great or okay. And then the next night is just staring, at the TV and not being able to go to sleep. So,
well, that's me on a normal night.
But yeah, whatever. But I've been doing this thing where you cut up a lemon, throw it in the blender, and the whole thing, and blueberries or whatever you have around, and then a diet Sprite. And that all goes in and blend it all up, and it's really pulpy. Yeah. But apparently the whole lemon is quite a good way to start feeling bad. Been doing it for weeks, and it hasn't helped at all.
Then, would you be willing to try a few other things? Throw a little apple cider vinegar in there, and then throw
last week.
A little turmeric.
Yeah.
And then see how you feel.
You think that'll do it? Those two things?
Yeah, absolutely.
I did ACV because there are a lot of studies that talk about the benefits of ACV, and I do that quite often. Turmeric I had not done, which we have it in the cupboard, so it's easy enough to do.
Might as well give it a shot. I did. Speaking of shot, Jen did a turmeric shot this morning.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know how she's feeling. I haven't asked.
With vodka?
Yeah, that would be smart. That definitely would be smart. Unfortunately, she has to work, but
it's not like we haven't done PoddiMouths with happy hour.
Well, could you really consider this work? The work comes later.
Oh no, this is very difficult. people.
It's very difficult.
If you're
very
thinking
difficult.
of doing your own podcast, look how hellish this is on us.
So speaking of,
Yes.
you and I have talked about doing
We sure
other
have.
podcasts. Yeah, we
Yes.
have. It's for 5 years straight, 5 years and 4 episodes worth.
Yes, we have.
But we've talked about doing other podcasts and stuff, just to kind of, augment this or augment your business and my side gigs and things like that, just and have a little bit more fun. But with that, and on a side note, I have been doing a little bit of research on, have you heard of Chat GPT?
Yes.
It's what Bing wants to put into their search algorithm to make it a little bit more user friendly. They're using it to try to beat out Google and stuff like that. I've read a few articles. I don't want to really get into the technical side of that because I'm still learning about it.
Yeah, me
but
too.
I've also gone to, because it's in, they don't call it beta. I think they just call it a trial, but I've gone into their trial interface with Chat GPT. For anyone that wants to try, if you can get in there, Jen tried to get in there today to try it. To do some stuff.
It's a Microsoft thing?
No, this isn't well, I don't know if it's Microsoft. I think it's separate, but the actual
Bing.
URL is chat.openai.com. So if you go there, it's chat.openai.com, and you can type in questions that you want the AI to answer for you. So, for example, I did a search today because Jen was putting together a Facebook post for the community. And I said, I need a tagline for a Facebook post that enforces the idea that our leadership program is training our students to succeed in life. And so you type that in, you hit send, and this is the chat AI comes up with an idea. And this was the idea it came up with: empowering the next generation to lead and succeed. And we're like, wow. That's a pretty good tagline. So that's what we used for and then from a podcast perspective, I asked it earlier, I need 10 podcast ideas on the topic of digital marketing for automotive dealerships.
5 of them were fire.
I wasn't going to give you the first 5. I was going to start on the second 5, but you hit
number
the nail on the
6
head.
was.
Yeah, but it gave me 10, and I'm reading them going, yeah, this is really, really good. So, you can do pretty much anything with it. And I actually, I had experimented with it because I'm trying to build out pages and blog posts, honestly, for Jen's website.
Yeah.
So I would ask it things like, because I know nothing about dance. So I would say, tell me something about,
to believe.
Right.
I find that really shocking.
You should. I've been doing it for so many years.
You look like a dancer.
Exactly. Sachet, Chante, whatever. But I asked it, tell me why ballet is important, and do it in 200 words. And it gave me 200 words on why ballet is important that I could use I'm just like,
wow.
It's blowing my mind because it's not that it's just returning that information, but it's actually really well done.
So it's it's a really good contrast of well-developed AI and poorly developed AI.
Exactly.
So here's my foray into that. We are moving someday, and I'm trying to get ahead of it a little bit about transferring over our Wi-Fi over to the new residence, our internet, and it's a little bit of a challenge because we're thinking, okay, I think we're going to go to TV as well. We have Cat 5 run through the new house. There's no cable anymore.
Okay.
But so I'm thinking maybe that's the route we'll go. We'll try it because we switch back and forth, and we have not had live TV here since we've been here. We've got apps that we use and streaming and so on. But so I thought, well, let's check this out. And the only option they had when I went to the website was Chat Live, and it was an AI bot. And so I'm plugging in a couple of things thinking it will get me to a representative at some point. And, it wouldn't answer what I wanted. And, okay, you need to represent. Fine. Click yes. Representative comes on. Jacob is typing. And, hey, welcome. How are you today? Who do I have the pleasure of speaking? That crap. Yeah. And so this is John. Look, here's what I'm looking for. I'm moving, typing. And, okay, well, I'll be happy to get you the information on you moving, just reiterating what I said.
Right.
And then I wait. and nothing. And it was 2 minutes, maybe 3. And I said, Jacob, you're too damn slow. Have a nice day. And I'm out. I'm not going to do it. If I cannot replicate a phone call or something similar to that, or at least, get in a where I can multitask, then forget it. I'm not going to do it. And they don't understand that piece of it. Even when it goes from AI to a live chat, that's a huge deal. And it's huge in our business as well.
Yes. And the other problem with that is people on the other side that are using it every day don't know how to make that transfer. They don't know how to do that handoff. And that makes for a poor customer experience. And that's so anyway, speaking of with that, it's been a very good customer experience with that platform. Cool. And a lot of people some people that are listening to this might be going, well, why don't you just come up with your own stuff? And it is after 5 years of doing this and then also trying to come up with ideas for other things. And with everything else that's going on in this world, it's hard to come up with ideas.
Well, but let's be clear too. You are an expert. We are experts in our fields. Mm-hmm. And as are most of our listeners. It's not so much about you not being able to come up with a marketing terminology or whatever. It's just that it's nice to get someone who understands well enough to give you a talking point where you can go bing and play off that.
Exactly.
I mean, I could throw a topic at me and you and I could expand on it for hours.
Right.
But just because when we do things every day and very similarly and similar clients and similar scenarios, it's difficult to keep that fresh look. So to me, something like that, it's not about plagiarism. It's about fresh look. And how do I look at it a little bit differently and use our expertise so that it makes more of an impact on people who may not be familiar with it. So no, I think it's a really cool opportunity, not to say, we're checking out. So I have no idea who Frankie Valley was. So let's ask Googs and find out. Right.
And it's also to your point, it's nice to, when you're dealing with as much content, it used to be where you could post twice a week and be okay. But now you literally have to post every single day, sometimes even twice a day just to get heard.
So true.
With all the noise that's out there. So if you've got multiple things you're working on, multiple clients or multiple projects, coming up with something that posts every single day is difficult.
Yeah.
Because you can't reuse the same stuff over and over again. So I think my whole point to that is I think this is a pretty neat revolution as we're moving forward. I was reading an article today about whether or not this was really going to be a Google killer. And this guy I'm 100% in agreement with the guy that I was reading. I don't think this is a Google killer, but it's definitely a Google augmenter.
Well, and that's just it. Finally, how about let's make our tech devices more effective. Yeah. And what's the best way to do that? Through competition. Just like everything that's created industry.
The biggest problem he pointed out, and it's definitely something I'm going to keep watching and I was interested in learning more about. He said he thinks that the biggest roadblock for this sort of AI is the fact that no one knows how to monetize it.
That will come. I mean, it'll come as Google has shown more than once. It's
right.
It's monetization is one thing. The other thing is the learning curve for input. And you remember when Google was that way, when we first, what's the best way to ask it this? And it's not like it's going to the card catalog, but the questions you were asking, I was like, there's no way if it's a low level AI that it's going to get it, but a high level AI will get it and run with it. And so that's exciting.
Anyway, so folks, if you get a chance, check out that website and see if you can break it. See if you can break it. That's my term. You're not actually breaking anything, but I always tell people, get in there, mess with it, break it. And make sure it works.
Treat it like a sandbox.
Exactly. That's what it basically is.
It is.
Because it's a lot of fun. And for those of you who are content creators, give it a shot. See if it can help you out, because it impressed me so far.
I'm going. And you're not easily impressed.
I'm not easily impressed.
Well, certainly with podcast partners, you are.
No,
I'm like the 10th one that you I think, interviewed before you actually decided on.
Yeah, that's you're actually more like 25, but who's counting?
The first 10 were dancers, though, I heard.
They were.
Yeah.
They're all my wife's buddies. So
because you're a good dancer.
That's who I know. That's all I ever talk to.
Dancers. Always have.
Oh my goodness. So yeah. Well, that's, we've, even though it's only been 30 minutes, we've covered a lot, John. What else is new in your world?
Oh my gosh, we have gone up and down. So you were surprised today a little bit when we were texting earlier, Nick. So one of the things that we don't talk about a lot, and I guess people are surprised by it. We've obviously broached it over the years, but my maintenance for my multiple myeloma blood cancer, and so Nick was, I hear you're back on chemo again. Or I mentioned that I was.
You mentioned you were on chemo, and I said, "Excuse me, sir, you didn't tell me that you were back on chemo."
Well, and I was never off, so
which I didn't know.
My myeloma is pretty aggressive, so it's one that they said you will probably never be in remission, and that's the myeloma thing. If you can get to remission, that's what but it's just a thing, and it's just like any cancer remission. There's no guarantee, so it's not really a target with mine. So I've constantly been on either an oral chemotherapy or something else. And at the height of it, of course, it was, I had the port and I had the hardcore stuff, which is crazy. And so, as I've said before, the people that sit in these infusion labs and go through hours of chemotherapy pumping through their veins, it's just incredible what it does to you. So mine has been lighter than that, but I get a shot of Velcade, which is focused on myeloma, once a week. And every day I take an oral chemo, a Pomalyst it's called. And so my point in saying it is, I'm not sure how much of this cold thing, I don't know how much it's impacted by that. It's tough to say because I got the shot on Tuesday, and usually there's kind of I don't know, an ickiness for the first couple of days after I get it. And I don't know if it's just because I'm old and sleepy and, whatever it is. But it just usually takes a little more effort to get to the gym, which I haven't been to since before the first of the year, which sucks ass.
Most people that's when they hit the gym.
Well, and that's good because I don't want to be there with the newbies because I figure by the end of this month, they won't be there again anyway. They'll still keep paying, but they won't be going because that was me anyway. But yeah, I just haven't felt well enough to get to the gym, so I don't know what it is. But yeah, it's the chemo stuff is, you just don't know, and you got to say, well, whatever is it? Am I able to continue on, and can I forge through it? It could be a lot worse, and I see a whole lot of people every week who are way worse off.
A lot worse, right?
And so you just you play the hand you're dealt, and
Absolutely.
It's all cool. So, but it would be good to know what the impact is, and if I could change how much or when I take it or whatever, if it would impact how I react to some of these stupid viruses.
And sometimes you just got to live with it. And you make a really good point about a lot of things, not just illness and health, but it's perspective. We talked about that with people in that are driving. There might be a reason they're driving so stupidly. But it's the same thing with things like that. If you have a specific outlook or a certain type of outlook on something, and it's you need to put everything in perspective. Like you said, you have it bad. It sucks for you. It's your experience. So you can't belittle that experience, but there are people that have it worse.
Oh my goodness. And you're right. It's perspective in many directions. It's, you can say, oh, look how tough I have it. Look how good they have it. And there's always going to be that. And it's the old Jim Rohn thing. It doesn't matter what happens to you. The only thing that matters is what you do with what happens to you. That's all that matters. So wherever that levels you up, it's how you react to it, how you respond to it.
Yep.
Anyway, that was just an aside. And that's I'm I've been blessed, as I told you, for a long time by really amazing doctors and a great God, and that's all I hang my hat on, and whether it's the meds or whatever it is, it just changes. It sometimes changes how you react to the stupid viruses and colds and all that stuff.
Sure.
So anyway, COVID in the rearview mirror, happily. Coco. So we don't have to worry about that too much anymore. I tested negative for all of that, by the way.
Good.
So,
That's good, John.
No COVID.
No cocoa.
No COVID.
No cocoa, but maybe some cocoa later.
No, and no flu. Yeah, maybe some Coca-Cola.
Speaking of Coca-Cola, so
yes.
and posting things. This is you bring up something. So, and for some reason, her name just Elizabeth Banks. So director, and she's an actress and director of a lot of movies, including
40-Year-Old Virgin.
Yeah, did she do that one?
Oh, yeah, 40-Year-Old.
I didn't know that.
She was in it.
Oh, was she? I don't remember.
She was the bookstore girl. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, she was also in all of, and I think directed and produced what is the a cappella movies? We just watched all three of them.
Oh,
Pitch Perfect.
Pitch Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, really funny.
Yeah. So she had a TikTok post last night, and it was a comment on Tom Hanks on one of the late night shows where he was talking about diet cocaine. Have you ever heard of diet cocaine?
No.
So it's you take a glass, you fill half of it with Diet Coke, and then you top it off with champagne. And so it's diet cocaine. So this was Elizabeth Banks doing a real life test of it. So she did it, and she's like, and then her, the Elizabeth Banks face when she's, damn you, Tom Hanks. And that was it. It was hilarious. It was absolutely hilarious. So she was one of the,
one of the announcer people on Pitch Perfect, right?
Yes.
Well, that was her. What's his name? Yeah, I can't think of his name. But
Fred,
that was
something.
Yes, Fred. Wow, very good.
It's all the water.
Fred Willard. Not Fred Willard. Yeah, because you're gonna have to pee.
Could it be Fred Willard? I don't think it's Fred. Might be. Oh, you do some filler while I look this up.
If you had your chat openai.com open,
I could type it in there. Yeah,
hop right in and ask, and they would know.
And I do have it open. I don't know why I'm doing it this way. I'm doing it the old way, guys.
Old school.
It's not connected to IMDb. I'm sure. Let's see.
It shouldn't have to be.
It's not. We weren't even close. We weren't even
Fred
close. John Michael Higgins.
Oh, okay.
Yep, not even close.
He's been in all three of them?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I like him. I don't know why. No, he's definitely not Fred Willard. He's older.
No.
But
that's what I was thinking.
Fred was right.
I thought so too. Okay. But they look very similar. Okay. So this is Fred Willard. Can you see him?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
That's Fred Willard.
He's Phil's dad on Modern Family, which is perfect.
I don't
casting.
watch Modern.
Perfect casting. Oh my gosh.
I've never really watched that.
Oh, you have to watch Modern Family. That is right up your
This is
alley.
John Michael Higgins.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's kind of much like a younger version of Fred Willard, I would say.
Much younger. Yeah.
Yeah. Much younger.
Much younger.
Much younger.
That's hilarious. That's pretty awesome. Okay. New shows.
Yeah.
Binging. So Yellowstone, you got us on to, and now we're up to speed, but we can't, they release them whenever they feel like, well, we're taking a couple weeks off. Really?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So now they own everybody and they've got you by the scrotes and they're just, whatever. We're going to release them whenever they feel like it. And so, okay, fine. We'll watch 1883. Done with 1883. Okay, then we'll go with 1923. Done with 1923. And they
not done because they're not all.
They come out with their new stuff whenever they want to, which is slowly too. And look, hey, Taylor Sheridan, I know you're writing as fast as you can. So we jumped on
Tulsa King.
Tulsa King.
Yeah.
And we've watched that now through that season. So,
all right. So there's another one.
Hold on. Tulsa King's different.
Okay.
Yeah. The mayor of what?
Yeah. Something. Yeah. The mayor of
Streeterville or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah. I haven't started that one yet.
I have. We did it last night because we're freaks. But we only did one episode of that. And that takes Tulsa King to the next level.
Really?
Well, in terms of a little hardcore.
Okay.
And so Tulsa King is going to be. You've watched Tulsa King?
Yes.
So I won't spoil it for anybody.
Yeah, and I haven't watched the last 2 or 3 episodes, so
it's worthy of watching. It's Sly Stallone, who at 75 or whatever still looks great.
This looks really good.
Pretty good actor. He's never been Oscar quality, in my opinion.
He hasn't. There are a couple of movies, and I'm just going to say movies because I think this is the first television show I've ever seen him in. But the first, he's got the movies where you're like, oh God, this guy can't act his way out of a box. And then there's some movies where he's like, I didn't know he had that in him. He's pretty damn good.
Better. There is no question he's gotten better.
Yeah. No, and I think with the exception, you know what gets me? I think he's really good at acting. I think it's his accent that just kind of throws everything off for me.
A little.
I just can't get around the voice and the accent together.
I don't know what you're talking about, Nick. I mean, it's better than it was in the early movies.
Yeah, yeah. But, well, I think in the early movies, just like Arnold Schwarzenegger,
right?
He was probably amping it up.
Oh, so I don't know. So, but yeah, his is so much more comprehensive than Arnold. Jeez.
Yeah. Well,
the early Arnold stuff was
unintelligible, but
exactly.
Arnold actually got rid of his accent when he started to do movies and started acting, but he still had a little bit of one, but he really worked on getting rid of it.
Got rid of it.
Well, I mean, you like a lot of people from other countries.
Cop.
Exactly. Well, the producers and the directors asked him to amp it up. So that's what he built his entire career on. That's why it's so thick, is because
I understand.
Hollywood wanted him to do it, not because he hadn't mastered
paid the bills, baby. Paid the bills.
Exactly. Well, you got to do what you got to do to be a movie star. And I have a feeling Stallone had something similar.
You may be right, especially the early ones. But now, he plays a believable, and I guess we can lay out the premise, a believable mobster guy.
Yeah.
And so, again, he's a New York guy, and that's kind of the core, and he gets banished sort of to Tulsa.
Right.
Which is funny in itself. But you recognize, again, sorry, no offense, Taylor Sheridan, because he's everybody's favorite. You can see where his strengths are. There's a small horse farm scene, and some of that doesn't play a lot, but it plays some. So he gets in his comfort zone a little bit. But there are some acting pieces of the extraneous actors that are horseshit in that movie.
Yes, they are.
It's terrible, and I'm just kind of surprised by that. So it helps you.
And there's some actors that I really, really like too that are you're underutilizing.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I would agree with that too. But it makes you appreciate the actors even more on Yellowstone, who are truly some pretty impressive actors.
Yeah. And it also, and it's not the only show I've seen lately, noticed some people with really bad plastic surgery. You're like, well, did you really? Well, and Lisa couldn't
stop looking at Sly. And I think most of his is probably Botox. But he was on steroids for years. I mean, he got in trouble with the law by getting Mexican steroids brought up because he was pumping for years. But anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, I mean, I'm surprised
he doesn't have the Kenny Rogers
walking
face
anymore.
Right. Yeah, but he doesn't have the fake. I mean, a little bit.
But there are a couple other actors and actresses in the TV show and we were watching one, and I love me some Reba McEntire, but we were watching a show, my wife and I, the other day with Reba in it, and it's a new show. And every time she smiled, she looked like the Joker. I mean, it was bad. I mean,
hate
it's like, oh God, I just can't watch. I'm just like, why?
And you can go down the list. Joan Rivers, and when she was alive, and she was proud of it. Okay, at least she's not pretending. Dolly Parton.
Right.
Look, if you're going to do it and you say, hey, yep, this is fake and it's okay and I'm fine with, all right, at least you're doing that.
Okay.
It's just, and I know it's tough or different for women than it is for guys. Women, the men, they look more distinguished. Well, tell that to Burt Reynolds, before he kicked it. Oh, he looked terrible. But he's got,
or Val Kilmer.
His eyes,
a good example.
the eyes are this close together and you kind of, okay, well, that looks perfectly natural. And, I mean, you've obviously had work done, but I don't think anybody notices
obviously.
Yeah.
Right. Well, the camera on the Mac helps a lot.
It helps in a big way. And
and just so people understand it was a joke about Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer has been very ill, so he has a reason for looking as bad as he does.
He does. And he was, you know what? They did a really good job with him, stem to stern, and on Top Gun Maverick.
Yes, they did.
I thought they really not only were respectful, but it was very smart in how they made it all work. So.
I 100% agree, and I was so happy to actually see him in that movie.
Yeah, me too.
That was fantastic. And speaking of his son, I don't know if you know this. So they've done a Willow. Remember the old movie?
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Yeah. They have a TV show now. I'm not recommending it. I mean, not bad. If you want something that's a little bit corny that helps you relive Willow, it's not bad. It's entertaining, but it's not. It's not. It's just not Willow. It's not the original. But it is entertaining anyway. And some more bad plastic surgery too.
Oh gosh.
But anyway, there's a couple scenes where they use Val Kilmer's voice because he's obviously not in the TV show. Mm-hmm. But it's not his voice; it's his son who's doing the voice.
Really?
He sounds just like him.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
One of my favorites, and this is the first movie I saw him in. It had to be in the 80s. Weird Science.
Val Kilmer wasn't in Weird Science.
I know. What was one like it then? Oh shoot! Sorry, I'm glad you called me out then. Because it was one at the same time and similar.
No, I know which one you're talking about.
Well, tell me then.
But I can't think of the name of it. Weird Science is one of my favorites.
Anthony Michael Hall. Yeah, that was a different one. Come on, what was it?
Robert Downey Jr. was also in Weird Science.
He was, you're right.
A lot of people were.
Val Kilmer. Not his first movie.
No. Crap. I mean, he's been around he was a childish actor. Not like a kid actor, but he was childish. Around for a long time. I mean, he's been around just as long as Tom Cruise. I think they're even the same age. Yeah.
If not longer.
My favorite Val Kilmer movie, honestly, besides Tombstone, I thought he was fantastic in Tombstone, but I really like The Saint. I mean, it was a corny movie, and it was a remake of the original, but I loved it with Elizabeth Shue.
I don't know if I ever saw it.
You should look it up, The Saint.
Dang it. I know the movie. I just can't remember.
I think the biggest problem I had with that movie is they made a lot of jumps, time jumps that they could have made 2 movies out of it and probably made 2 exceptionally good movies. Mm-hmm. Instead, it was a mediocre 1 movie.
Oh, well, there are how many are like that?
Right.
So it says Top Secret, but that wasn't the one.
That sounds right. It was
no, that wasn't the one I was thinking of.
Well, you know what? We're going to build an entire episode around that next time.
Around Val Kilmer?
Around Val Kilmer. Absolutely not.
That sounds great.
Because I think we need to, since you're just kind of staring at your screen.
I am not. You always say that.
I know, I do.
Yeah, I know.
But it's been 49 minutes, and I think Bill probably needs to go to the restroom by now.
No, he does not. He wears the pens now.
As he's walking around. Don't tell him that. I saw some of those Camaro pics he posted the other day those were sweet. I liked those. Yeah. He was posting pictures almost every day, but I really liked the Camaro.
He had a fun one today too. A pickup that somebody had chopped off the bed that was probably the
Really?
box. It was probably, excuse me, the box was probably all trashed or rusty or whatever. And the guy just built a flatbed box on
nice.
With a nice wood. And it looked pretty good, but
I'll have to look it up.
I'm sorry. It looked like he had the original taillights for the model of the truck, but he had them on there with like bungee straps. Come on, dude. You spent all this time. It was pretty funny. Bill always has some fun posts.
If you want to see some of his posts, check him out on Instagram, but you could also get there from our website, which is PoddiMouths.com. You can also now, even though it's not very pretty, I'm still trying to figure out why my code is all wonky, but you can actually now sign up, because when I switched the website over, I forgot the sign up thing at the bottom for our newsletter. And it's not really a newsletter. It's really just a notification that we have a new episode, but it has links to the new episode on pretty much all of the platforms and back to the website and so on and so forth. So get up there, sign up if you haven't already. If you're watching us on YouTube, smash that subscribe and like button, boom, and all that jazz. Folks, it has been a wonderful 51 minutes. 51 minutes. And I look forward to the next 45 or 50 minutes that we get to talk to you next week. Take it easy.
It'll be fun. See ya.